Chapter 103, Offering the Cloth in the following year, after her conversation with the Buddha about the switching of the lotus flowers in a past life, all the chief disciples and the Buddha had the opportunity to visit his birthplace in Kapilavatthu. The Buddha stayed at the Nigrodharma Monastery, which was about 4 kilometers southeast of Kapilavatthu. At that time, the Nigrodharma Monastery, which had originally been a Brahmin temple, had been converted into a Buddhist religious site. All the idols had been destroyed. One afternoon, after the meal offering to the Buddha and all the chief disciples was completed, Pajapati Gautami, the Buddha's stepmother and the biological mother of Nanda, brought 2 pieces of cloth that she had painstakingly instructed her servants to weave from the finest silk threads. The cloth was light, soft, and lustrous. One piece was for an inner garment, and the other was for draping over the entire body. She intended to offer these 2 pieces of cloth to the Buddha because she saw that the original cloth he was using was just ordinary cotton, dyed with turmeric that looked faded, and in some places it had been patched and repaired. She believed that if she offered these 2 pieces of cloth to the Buddha, it would make him look more majestic, befitting his status as a Buddha, and would be an expression of the reverence and faith she had for him, just as it had been the customary practice with teachers in the Brahmin religion. When she presented the 2 pieces of cloth to the Buddha, he immediately knew that it was inappropriate to accept them. The main reason was that he did not want his appearance to seem superior to anyone else, especially his chief disciples. Therefore, he declined to accept the offering from her and asked her to give them to his chief disciples instead. Initially, she felt disappointed, but because it was the Buddha's wish, she could not refuse. She then turned to Sariputta, who was one of the foremost chief disciples, to offer the cloth. However, Sariputta thought the same as the Buddha, that wearing these 2 pieces of cloth would make him appear superior to others, so he also declined to accept the offering. She then turned to Ananda, Mahapasapa, and so on, to almost everyone. But no one accepted the 2 pieces of cloth. Only one person remained. Her who had just arrived was unknown to everyone and had not yet displayed any outstanding special abilities. Although she was not very willing to offer these 2 pieces of cloth to her, and she herself was surprised that no one had accepted them as she was the last person left to receive them since there was no one else. She turned to look at the Buddha for his confirmation to accept the cloth. The Buddha nodded for her to receive it. Thus, the 2 pieces of cloth inevitably became hers. As soon as she received the offering, Pajapati was filled with sorrow to the point of tears. She had painstakingly intended to offer this fine, expensive cloth to the Buddha, but the situation had turned out that she had to offer it to a new monk at the very end. She felt that the amount of merit she would receive this time was only a tiny fraction. Seeing this, the Buddha said, "Behold, revered mother, if this sorrow that has arisen in you is due to the unfulfilled wish for great merit, I will explain. May great joy arise in you from now on, for the cloth that you have brought to offer has fallen into the hands of the conqueror of senses who will be born as a Buddha in the future." And when Pajapati heard this, her sorrow subsided and immediately turned into joy. Lord Foch explained. So, the Buddha announced Akita's future Buddhahood from that time on. Right? I asked. Yes. Now, let's go back to the events of your great assembly, Lord Foch said. All right, I replied. Behold, all of you. The Buddha began amidst the silence. Before I have Akita recount the stories of the future for you all to hear, I have something to clarify. In the distant future, before this great world system turns towards the light, which is the factor that will cause our world system to enter the golden age and become as pure land, The people of that time will call themselves civilized beings. The whole world will have progress in dharma, will flourish in wisdom, the cities will be peaceful, and the people in society will be filled with compassion and goodwill towards each other. The standard of living will be equal. There will only be wealthy people having so much of everything that there will be more than enough to use. The people will have ample time. They will be interested in their own minds, have time to care for their bodies and beautify their skin with fragrances, have time to meticulously craft jewelry and beautiful clothing woven from fine fabrics with intricate beauty, all looking very similar, making it almost impossible to distinguish who is who until they enter their homes and recognize their spouses. The roads will be orderly and safe. There will be no fear of danger when going anywhere, leaving home. There will be no need to lock doors. Precious belongings, jewels, gold, and silver can be left out without anyone stealing them. Behold, all of you, before that time arrives, this world system must first enter an era of maximum decline, like a wheel plummeting from a high place to its lowest point before easily soaring up the other side. When that age of darkness arrives, the world system will be dim, the minds of humans will be degraded and immoral, people will only exploit, harbor malice and hatred, and be filled with disgust and aversion. The cities will be chaotic, robbers will rule the land, the standard of living will be dire, beggars, homeless people, and the starving will appear everywhere. The rulers will be without virtue, governing with corruption and fraud. The wealthy and powerful will collude to exploit others shamelessly. Famine and hardship will lead to competition, robbery, and murder for survival. The common people will struggle to escape death without any peace. People will have to work day and night, without even time to cook when hungry. The people will lack even the basic necessities that everyone should have. Their bodies will deteriorate. Everywhere you look, there will be people suffering and sick. Their faces and skin will be raw, indicating toil. Illnesses will plague them. Even those with much money and gold. Houses and mansions will be unsafe, lived in with anxiety. People will be suspicious even of their own family members. Fathers will kill sons. Sons will kill mothers. Brothers will kill sisters. Everyone will be panicked, fearing for their own safety and possessions. No matter how securely they hide them, someone will steal them. Behold, all of you. When the decline of that era appears, humans will have inventions that allow them to reap benefits more easily and abundantly. These inventions will all promote decline rapidly and widely, unlike anything that has ever happened before in history. From this point forward, I will entrust Achyuta with the duty of recounting the events of the future world during that time for all of you to know, the Buddha explained, turning to address the task. Achyuta had initially declined over, but Achyuta hesitated, unsure where to draw the stories the Buddha was speaking of. Ask yourself about the nature of the future world without worrying about your own status, without concerning yourself with the past or the future. Just know that at this moment, you possess a soul waiting to tell you the answer, the Buddha advised Achyuta. Ask about the future world, Lord. Achyuta then tried to focus his mind in meditation and asked the question as the Buddha had instructed.